Hi there. So it's Nicola at Flourish here, and we're just doing a quick update with some of our Time to Grow programme participants. Our North Manchester and sort of surrounding areas group has been going for a little while now. We're actually almost coming towards the end of the programme, and we've been having a virtual sort of catch up to share some updates and some next steps. So people listening again to this will hopefully get some insights on what's happening and what's coming up. I'm just going to hand over to my new colleague, because some of you won't have met, or most of you won't have met, a lady called Shelley Metcalf, who's now joined us as our Programme Development and Support Coordinator, with Jo stepping down from Flourish to move on to Sector 3, and us having this sort of growing set of programmes. We're kind of evolving our staff team at the moment, and Shelley's our latest member of staff, who's going to be quite involved in programmes like Time to Grow, delivering them, developing them, and other things. So do you want to just say hello, Shelley, and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi. So I'm Shelley, and I'm Flourish's new Programme Development and Support Coordinator. It's about my third week in, I think. So I'll be working closely with Nicola to develop the various programmes that Flourish offer and support the participants. A tiny bit about me. So I've been working in and around social enterprise for about 15 years now in various different guises, sometimes working on the corporate side, sometimes working for social enterprises themselves. Most recently, I set up and ran a social enterprise for about 5 years called the Digital Life Skills Company. We've decided to wind that up now, which has given me the scope to take on this new role, which I'm very excited about. So hello, it's good to meet you.
Brilliant, thank you. So welcome to everyone who's arrived a little bit later, and I'm just letting people know that we're recording a kind of section of updates before we then come back to finding out and catching up with everybody who's joined the call today. So more will be explained on that shortly. But in the meantime, in just recording some updates with people, basically our programme has been running for 6 to 9 months now. There's been a number of programme days, there's been some one-to-one coaching, we've had some evening catch-ups that certain people have joined, we've had a number of really brilliant physical real-world events, mainly at Red Bank House and also with me, but a number of people in the programme have joined. And we're now starting to get to that programme where it's a bit of a kind of crossroads kind of ending point. We've got scope to run another real world event with the group. We really want to sort of end on a high, end on some sort of celebration and reflections, and we're keen to hear from you as to how that should be shaped. We're thinking we'll go back to Red Bank House, or we might go back to MEBA and bring people together, partly to do a little bit of evaluation and capturing kind of people's journeys, where they were a year ago to where they are now. There's quite a bit of journey travel there, get some feedback, in addition to the kind of midterm reviews that Jennifer and Karen and Shelley and myself have been doing with people. And also, perhaps you guys might want to lead your own talks or your own sessions and really showcase what you're about and what you're doing. So we're hoping people on the call today will help us think about that. And if you're listening back to this and oh, so really sorry I missed this, I want to be involved in such and such, then we can hopefully figure that out. But before we get on to event planning a little bit later, it's just coming up to where we are now. So for some people on the programme, the programme days and the one-to-one support, it's starting to come to an end, and we'll wrap up around sort of October, November time. And there are a couple of people on the programme who are sort of suitable for progression programmes that we've been running, and I'm just going to flag up what they are. One's already been, we've done a call out to people through the programme, so you know about these, but I'm just recapping for people so that they're clear on what's what. So we're kind of coming to this crossroads in the autumn, and for some people on the programme, let's say, I don't know off the top of my head, 5 or 6 people on the programme will come on our Ellie programme beyond this. The Ellie programme has been designed on purpose to support people working in the women's support sector. And it's all about building on what we've done here to help people a bit more with their enterprise learning, leadership skills, innovation and influencing skills. And those, you'll know yourself, a number of women on the programme who are directly supporting women. It's all about, you know, addressing, I don't know, domestic abuse, supporting women to be more confident. There's different women that we're working with who are, you know, really will benefit from this programme. And although they're early stage, mixing them in with lots of other support organisations that we've kind of scooped up and been networking with will help kind of plug them into new networks and help build their sort of sustainability and their thinking going forward. So there's a handful of people progressing onto that, and that's kind of those decisions have pretty much been made now in terms of who's joining that programme. And then we've got a new programme that's just coming about now. So this, I'm mentioning it because it might be something that other people who we've worked with on this current Time to Grow programme might want to come and get involved with. Although these are WEA funded, and you don't need to know this, but you know, we can't count people twice, so to speak. We've designed these events on purpose and designed these programmes so that we can find new people who might want to come on these programmes while still benefit other social entrepreneurs, other women change makers we've been working with. So we've got this Career Pathways in Holistic Health programme, and because well over 50% of the women that we work with linked to health and well-being, it's a kind of great, hopefully a great kind of catch-all programme where alongside the new people that we will find who are perhaps technically currently unemployed, underemployed, might have been furloughed for some time and now looking for new work, returning to work after having had kids, or they might be retired but looking for new options or have ideas they want to develop. Just like you who've been on the programme, we're looking for people who've got ideas, who want to take stuff forward. That said, a number of you, and you'll remember people like Carol with the Perk Me Up Foods, and people like Michaela, who we've just been talking to about, you know, expert with lived conditions, sort of, and experts with experience developing their own initiatives, we can come on to some of the events that we're running here and showcase what they're doing, perhaps offer some guidance or mentoring to others, or be part of community health and wellbeing events that we're running. So I'm mentioning this because we've got a few that are happening soon. So I'll just flag up what's coming up. These dates may yet shift in Salford and Manchester, but in Wigan on the 22nd of September, we've got an event coming up at Merrick Street, and we'll be running a number of events between now and the end of the year at Merrick Street in Wigan. So if you run a health and wellbeing related social enterprise, it'd be great to offer you the space to perhaps run a workshop, pilot your idea, test things out, reach a wider audience, for example. So that's the kind of opportunities we're trying to create beyond the Time to Grow programme you've been experiencing. Likewise, we've got something similar we're trying to set up with Women in Wings, if we can manage it, in Salford. And MEBA, we're going to be doing some more stuff down there. For those of you that came to the How To Festival, we've got all sorts that we can do there. And we're certainly planning in December, probably on a weekend, kind of a community wellbeing showcasing kind of mini marketplace, so kind of chill out and pamper yourself, you know, in the throes of, you know, being stressed about Christmas or just winding up the end of the year. And so again, if you do, I know we've got Maddie on the call here who does talks, we've got people who do complementary therapies, we've got people who do sort of creative confidence building and all sorts. These sorts of sessions could be tucked into these sorts of events. So we'll follow up with people again who are interested in that. For anybody who's interested or who might know others, we've got a series of courses then that follow on from these things. So Career Pathways in Holistic Health, you know, I would say if you've been on the Time to Grow programme, you won't need to do this because you've been doing much more than this already, but you might want to come and get involved as perhaps an inspirational speaker or to showcase what you're doing. And you could certainly, if you will, or if you're up for that, you know, recommend friends of yours, contacts or others who might find a programme like that. It's almost like a one-day intro into the kind of ways we work, how we get people thinking and helping them find their sort of goals and pathways to creating their ideas, taking them forward. We've also got, in partnership with Beauty in the Community, complementary therapy training programmes. And whilst in theory, people who've been on the Time to Grow programme may or may not technically be eligible for this, you might know people who are, and we'd gladly have a chat with you if this is something that's real interest to you as to whether there are other ways we can support you into this. And now we've got this relationship with Beauty in the Community and MEBA. They run all sorts of things anyway. So people have got an interest who might have been working in health and wellbeing and want to add new strings to their bow, upskill in, be it massage, beauty, or some of the other more sort of specialist areas. If you've got, therapy skills already, and learning additional therapies might help boost the kinds of services or the kinds of audiences you can reach or the kinds of events you can run, then you'd be very welcome to think about joining this sort of stuff. And then we've got some additional digital marketing courses happening. Now these will be prioritised for people who come on the overall programme, that if this is something that's of interest to you and you want some more support, there might be listen again options, or there might be other ways that we can involve you in events like this. So we can look at that. And some of this stuff we've done. So we've recently done some podcasting training with Vic Turnbull, but there's all sorts of other digital skills and marketing and media half-day or full-day workshops that we're running as part of this. And, in a nutshell, that's another pathway there. Quite a number of the women on this Time to Grow programme will be great allies and collaborators in making this kind of programme a success. So partly to build their networks, showcase what they're doing and that kind of thing. I'm just going to say one last thing, that I guess the final sort of pathway for people, if they're not progressing on the early programme and they're not progressing on the career pathways in holistic health, there's two other options actually. One is for women who are based in North Manchester, which actually quite a lot of people on this call are. We have got some ongoing support until the end of the year. So some additional coaching support backed by Manchester City Council to be able to keep doing some ongoing one-to-ones with people there. And aside from that, some of you came to our How To Festival, and the plan is, I'm just going to flash this up to jog people's memories. The plan is, and if you recall, down at MEBA, a number of women in our network were part of this event. I'm just going to do a very, we led different sessions. There was a whole set of stuff on creative and digital skills. There was a whole set of stuff on health and well-being, again showcasing people that we've supported. There was a whole set of stuff on social enterprise support, like how to secure that funding bid and how to say no to things. All of these how-to topics, that are like a pick and mix menu to dip into what you want and what could be helpful. So the plan was always to run this physically, because we wanted to get people together for kind of last blast before the summer. But beyond that, we were always going to do an online digital version of this. And so that's still under development, and Michaela and myself and some of our other colleagues are meeting on Friday to kind of start to pin this down. And I'm telling you this because it's another opportunity, so that for those of you, whether you want to progress into other things that we're running and we can try and enable that, or whether you think, this support's coming to an end, what's going to happen? The How To Festival is going to be a great way to get additional support in kind of bite-sized learning chunks through the digital festival that we'll run, and on ongoing additional events into New Year. So it's just to let you know that, as with any Flourish programme, it's never, fall off the end of a cliff and that's it. The network is here, programmes will continue, and where people can connect to those, come to events and other things, they'd be very welcome. And we'll be listening to people's needs, looking and observing as to kind of where various sort of funding, development and support opportunities are, where we can, Shelley and I can look at creating new programmes where they're kind of more open access, and a new set of programmes and initiatives will lead into next year. So by the time you've finish your one-to-one coaching with either me, Joe, or your other coach that you may have had, and we've had this final event in sort of October, November. We'll have a breather over December, and other things will be evolving into 2022. And don't get me wrong, there are people who have probably been on this programme, they might have got what they need out of it right now, and they just need to get their head down and get cracking. You might have formed your kick, or you've applied for that first bit of money, or you found some new clients and you're off and you're running, and you might not need to come back to us for a little while, and that's fine. But I just wanted showcase some of the options and opportunities that are coming up there. We'll take some questions from people shortly, and feel free to get in touch if any of this is sparked ideas or you want to hear more about. So I'm going to stop sharing, stop recording, and we'll catch up with everybody as we go. Thanks.